Yalin had lived on the Zarian space station for 3 months, and in all that time he believed he understood alien behavior pretty well. He knew their food tasted like mint and fire. He knew their doors opened with sound instead of touch. And he knew their warriors looked scary but were actually very polite. But today, something was different. The station halls were quieter than usual. The workers walked fast, keeping their heads low. Even the cleaning drones stayed close to the walls, as if trying not to be noticed. Yalin felt a strange tension in the air, thick, heavy, and confusing. He stepped into the engineering room and saw his alien co-worker, Reika, standing stiffly beside a console. Normally, Reika greeted him with a cheerful nod. Today, her eyes widened with fear. "You should go to your room, human," she whispered. "And please, lock the door." Yalin frowned. "Why? What's happening?" Reika looked around nervously, as if the walls themselves were listening. Then she leaned closer and whispered with trembling lips, "The sister is in heat." She said it like it was the end of the world. Jale and blinked. "Heat? You mean fever? Is she sick?" Reika shook, her head hard. "No, it is not sickness. It is instinct. It is dangerous." Yalin laughed softly. "Come on, how dangerous can one alien woman be?" Reika stared at him with a shocked expression. "You do not know?" Her voice dropped even lower. "When a Zarian female enters heat, she becomes powerful, faster, stronger. Her senses sharpen, her emotions grow wild. Even her own family avoids her at this time." Yalin tried to understand, but to him, it still sounded like a dramatic mood swing. "Maybe like human PMS but alien version," he shrugged. "I'll be fine." Reika's face filled with real panic now. "Yalin, listen, this is not a joke. You must lock your door. If she sees you..." But before she could finish, the emergency chimes rang softly through the station. Not loud, not alarming, almost respectful, like they didn't want to attract attention. Reika flinched. "She is awake," she whispered. Workers immediately rushed out, leaving tools behind. Panels closed automatically. The hallway lights shifted from white to dim golden, a signal Yalin had never seen before. It felt like the entire station was preparing for something. Something alive. Jalen sighed and picked up his bag. All right, I'll go to my room." He tried to sound calm, but a small chill crawled down his spine. If everyone else was scared, maybe there was a reason. As he walked toward his living quarters, the station grew quieter. Door after door sealed shut with a soft click. Even the children's small glowing Zarian kids were pulled inside their homes by worried parents. Every door closed. Except his. Jalen stopped in front of his open doorway. He had forgotten to shut it when he left earlier. The human brain inside him told him to listen to the warning, lock the door, and stay safe. But the human heart inside him said, "What's the worst that can happen?" He stepped inside but left the door wide open behind him. He didn't know it then, but in Zarian culture, an open door during a heat cycle was not just a mistake, it was an ancient invitation. A signal older than their oldest traditions. Jalen simply didn't know. He sat on his bed, removing his boots, trying to think about something else. But he couldn't shake the feeling that the air around him had changed. It felt charged, sharp, almost electric. Then he heard it. A sound from the hallway. Not footsteps, not breathing, not speech. It was a low, soft growl, almost like an animal calling out to something. Yalin froze. He slowly stood up and peeked out into the hallway. At first, he saw nothing. The dim golden lights flickered. Dust particles floated gently in the air. Everything looked calm. Then something moved in the shadows, a silhouette, tall, slim, graceful, but wrong in some way. Too fluid, too silent. The figure stepped forward, and he saw glowing violet eyes staring directly at him. They were bright, intense, burning with an emotion he couldn't name. His breath caught in his throat. She was not sick. She was not weak. She was not looking for help. She was hunting, and his open door had called her. The alien sister tilted her head slowly, studying him like he was the only light in a dark world. She took a silent step forward, and the golden lights shimmered against her skin. Her hair floated slightly as if lifted by heat waves. Yalin stepped back without thinking. Her eyes followed him with a strange softness, soft, but dangerous, like a storm deciding where to fall. The silence broke when she whispered his name. She had never spoken to him before. Yalin. The voice was smooth, warm, almost hypnotic. He felt his heart race. Now he understood why everyone warned him. Now he understood why doors were locked, but he had left his wide open, and she was already inside. Jalen stood, frozen inside his room, staring at the glowing violet eyes in the hallway. The alien sister's silhouette moved slowly like a shadow, carried by warm wind. Her breathing was controlled, but the air around her shimmered with heat. Every instinct in Jalen's body screamed for him to shut the door. But he couldn't move. The alien sister stepped forward, and the soft golden hallway lights reflected off her skin, smooth, iridescent, shifting between blue and silver as if the heat inside her changed her colors. Her voice floated through the air. Soft but powerful. You left your door open. Yalin swallowed. By accident. Her eyes narrowed slightly, but not in anger. More like confusion or curiosity. She stepped into the room completely now, and the temperature rose instantly. Warm enough to make Jalen's skin prickle. He forced himself to speak. Are you feeling okay? Her pupils dilated slowly as she studied him. I am in heat, she said softly. Nothing about me is okay. Yalin tried to smile. Awkwardly. So it's like a biological thing? She tilted her head in a strange, elegant way. Biological, instinctual, powerful, dangerous. Those last two words made Yalin step back a little. Instead of stepping forward immediately, she surprised him by pausing, placing her hand on the wall, taking a slow breath. Her voice trembled slightly. I am trying to stay calm. That caught Yalin off guard. You can calm yourself? No. Her glowing eyes lifted to his. You calm me. Yalin blinked. Me? How? She stared at him deeply, as if sorting through ancient memories. I heard your footsteps in the hall. They grounded my pulse. I smelled your scent. It softened the heat. And when you left your door open, her voice lowered. It felt like you invited peace instead of fear. Jalen's heart skipped. I didn't invite anything. Her expression softened, almost hurt. No one ever invites us. Not during heat. They hide. They run. They lock their doors. You did not. She stepped closer, one slow, careful step. Yalin didn't retreat this time. She continued. My instincts respond to signals. Closed doors mean danger. Open doors mean safety, and yours. She looked around his room with quiet wonder. Your door was the only one open on this floor. Yalin scratched his head nervously. Yeah, because I forgot. She blinked slowly, misunderstanding the human tone. You forgot. Because you were not afraid. He didn't correct her. Her aura pulsed in soft waves, and she placed her hand gently over her chest. My heartbeat was wild before. Now it slows. She took a deep breath. You steady it. Yalin looked at her closely now, seeing past the glowing eyes and shimmering skin. She wasn't a monster. She wasn't a threat. She was a being struggling with something overwhelming, and somehow, he was helping her. Suddenly, she winced. A sharp pulse of heat rippled through her body, making the lights flicker. Her knees bent slightly, and she gripped the wall harder. Her aura brightened like fire. Yalin stepped forward without thinking. Hey, are you okay? She lifted her hand slightly, almost like a warning. Do not touch me. Please, not yet. Yalan stopped immediately. She breathed hard, fighting her own instincts. "If you touch me now," she whispered, "the bond may begin too fast. I must control myself before that." "Bond?" Yalan repeated. She didn't answer. Instead, she closed her eyes until the heat pulse passed. Slowly, the glow around her dimmed again, returning to that soft, calm shimmer. When she opened her eyes, she looked at him with something strange in her gaze, something gentle, protective, and deeply focused. "You do not fear me," she said. Quietly Jale, and shrugged nervously. "I'm trying my best." She smiled, tiny, soft, almost invisible. "But real, and that is why the heat responds to you differently." Yalan frowned. "Differently from who?" She stepped closer, only inches away now, but with full control. "Differently from everyone else." Before Yalan could ask, "What does that mean?" a deep metallic sound echoed down the hallway, heavy footsteps moving fast. Her expression changed instantly. "My brothers," she whispered. "They think I lost control." She turned toward the door, her posture shifting into something protective, shoulders squared, stance firm, aura rising like a soft shield. "They must not think you are in danger," she said, "or they will take me away." "Take you away?" "Where?" Yalan asked. "A containment chamber." The way she said it, it wasn't fear. It was sadness, and she stepped closer to him again, even closer than before, not touching, but choosing to stand by him. "Please," she whispered, "let me face them calm, with you nearby." Yalan nodded slowly, "Then stay close." Her eyes softened, glowing like soft stars. She stepped in front of him as the footsteps neared the door, protecting him. Not because she had to, because she wanted to, because he calmed the storm inside her. The alien sister stood inside Yalan's room, her glowing violet eyes locked on him. Her breath was slow, almost silent, but her body carried a heat that filled the whole space. The air around her shimmered like waves rising from a hot desert. Floor, Yalan's mind raced. He wanted to run. He wanted to speak. He wanted to close the door, but he couldn't move. She took another step forward, and the floor panels glowed faintly under her feet, as if the station itself reacted to her presence. This wasn't normal. This wasn't safe. And yet, she wasn't attacking him. Her chest rose and fell rapidly as she tried to steady her breathing. Her fingers twitched, her jaw tightened, and her eyes flickered with tiny sparks of light. It was clear. She was fighting something inside her. Something powerful. Something ancient. Yalan swallowed. Are you okay?" The alien sister closed her eyes for a moment, as if the simple sound of his voice shook her entire body. When she opened them again, the glow had softened slightly, no longer a predator stare, but something strange, almost gentle. "I heard you," she whispered. "Your door. It called me." Yalan blinked in confusion. "Doors don't call people." "To humans, no." Her breathing shivered again. "To us, yes." She stepped even closer. Yalan felt heat rolling off her like warm waves. Not burning, but intense, emotional, alive. He took a cautious step back. She mirrored the movement forward. "Please," she said softly. "Do not move fast. My instincts. I am trying to control them." Yalan raised his hand slowly to show he meant no harm. "Okay, I'm not running." The sister nodded gently, but her eyes remained fixed on every small motion he made. Her body language was strange, half ready to leap, half terrified she might. She clutched her own arms, digging her nails into her skin to hold herself back. "I do not want to scare you," she breathed. "I do not want to harm you." Yalan stared at her. "Then why are you here?" A trembling smile touched her lips. "I am in heat," she said softly, as if the words carried a heavy weight. "When it begins, we feel everything stronger. Smells, sounds, emotions. Instinct wants control. But I can still think. I can still stop myself." her voice shook. Unless you touch me. Yalan froze. She continued. Even your breath. It pulls at me. I can feel your heartbeat. It is loud. Loud? She nodded. Loud enough to pull me through the halls. Jalen's heart thumped faster. Her eyes widened. That, she whispered. Exactly that. For a moment, neither spoke. The tension in the room grew deep, thick enough to feel like a physical pressure. Then something unexpected happened. She stepped back, not forward, back, as if giving him space took more strength than any warrior's battle. She placed her hand on the wall, steadying herself. I must control myself, she breathed. My family believes we become wild during heat. But I am not wild. I am still me. Yalan saw fear in her eyes. Not fear of him, but fear of losing control and hurting someone she didn't want to hurt. He took a small step forward, slow and calm. Her eyes widened again, but she didn't move. You don't seem dangerous, Yalan said carefully. I am, she whispered, voice shaking. But not with you. Jalen's confusion deepened. Why? She looked away, embarrassed. Because you left your door open. You opened space for me, for my instincts. That means something. And your scent. Your calm, it changes the heat. Changes how? It softens it. Yalan blinked again. Is that good? Yes, she whispered, eyes meeting his again. Very good. Her breathing steadied. Her body stopped trembling. The glow around her dimmed until it became just a soft aura instead of wild energy. Jalen realized something surprising. She wasn't fighting him. She was fighting herself. For him, she exhaled deeply, relieved. You help me think. You help me stay in control. I do not understand why. Yalan slowly lowered his hands. Maybe humans are calming? A small laugh escaped her lips. Unexpected and warm. Maybe. The room felt different, now still tense, but no longer dangerous. Instead, something new hung between them. Curiosity, connection, recognition. But the heat wasn't gone. Only controlled. And outside the room, several heavy footsteps echoed through the hall, fast, urgent, coming closer. She stiffened instantly. My brothers, she whispered. They are coming. She stepped in front of Jalen, protectively. The door was still open, and the danger was not over. The moment she heard the footsteps, the alien sister's entire posture shifted. Her back straightened, her muscles tightened, and her glowing eyes sharpened like a warrior ready to defend something precious. But Yalan noticed something strange. She wasn't bracing to attack him. She was bracing to protect him. The footsteps grew louder, 3 heavy sets, echoing down the metal hallway. The brothers were coming fast, their shadows stretching across the floor before their bodies even appeared. Yalan whispered, What do they want? To take me back, she replied. Quietly. To stop me from harming anyone. They believe I cannot control myself. She took a slow breath. They do not know that you calm me. Before Yalan could respond, her knee suddenly bent, and she stumbled forward, catching herself on the wall. A sharp wave of heat pulsed through her body, and her glowing aura flared bright for a split second. Jalen stepped forward on instinct and reached out his hand. Hey, are you okay? The moment his hand touched her arm, everything changed. A burst of shimmering light erupted around her. Her eyes widened, her breath caught. The heat cycle surged like wildfire under her skin. She trembled violently, not from fear, but from the sudden flood of instinct. You touched me, she whispered, her voice shaking. Ian pulled his hand back immediately. Sorry, I didn't mean. But she grabbed his wrist before he could step away. Her grip was warm, soft, but powerful, strong enough to stop him without hurting him. You shouldn't have touched me, she breathed. Her voice was not angry, it was full of shock. And something deeper. Yalan swallowed hard. Why? What did I do? She slowly turned her arm. Where he touched her, a faint glowing pattern spread like silver blue symbols blooming under her skin. They pulsed softly, responding to her heartbeat. It's a mark, she whispered. An instinct mark. During heat, the one we physically connect to becomes important. Important how? Yalin asked nervously. She looked up at him. Bond level. Important. Yalin froze. What? I didn't mean, I know, she said softly. But instincts do not care. A shiver ran through her body again, and she leaned closer, not aggressively, but as if trying to steady herself. You have softened the heat. Too much, she murmured. I can think, I can breathe, but now I feel connected. Connected. Bonded. Marked. Words Yalin did not understand, but felt the weight of. Before he could react, the brothers' voices filled the hallway. Move aside. She is inside. Open the door now. The alien sister's eyes snapped toward the hallway. Her expression turned fierce, protective. She released Jalin's wrist but stepped between him and the open doorway. If they see your mark, she whispered, they will misunderstand. Yalin blinked. Misunderstand what? That you accepted the bond. Jalin's heart raced. But I didn't. She looked at him with a strange, soft expression. You left your door open. You touched me during heat, in my people's eyes. That is acceptance. Before Yalin could argue, the brothers arrived at the doorway, 3 tall warriors with armor glowing faint blue. Their faces shifted from anger to shock. They saw their sister standing protectively in front of a human. They saw her aura calm, not wild. They saw Yalin inside, uninjured. The eldest brother spoke, voice deep and confused. Sister, why do you shield him? She glanced back at Yalin for a moment, just a small moment, but it meant everything. Because he touched me, she said quietly, and the heat chose him. All 3 brothers stiffened. Yalin felt his entire world tilt. The eldest brother's eyes widened. Human, do you understand what you have done? I don't, Yalin said honestly. The eldest stepped forward. You have invoked an ancient rule, one that cannot be undone. Yalin took a step back. I swear I didn't mean anything. It does not matter, the brother replied. The bond has begun. The sister lowered her head slightly. Not ashamed, not afraid, but accepting, and standing between Yalin and her own. Warrior brothers ready to protect the human who had changed her heat cycle with a single touch. The eldest brother exhaled slowly. This will change everything. The air inside Jalin's room felt heavy, so heavy that even the walls seemed to be holding their breath. The alien brothers stood at the doorway, their armor glowing faintly, their eyes locked on the scene in front of them, their sister standing protectively in front of a human. Yalin marked with faint glowing symbols on his wrist. The door, wide open, as if he had invited her in, the eldest brother stepped forward. His presence filled the room like thunder. He was taller than the others, broader, his voice deep enough to shake the floor panels. Sister, he said calmly, move aside. We must take you to the containment chamber. She didn't move. Instead, she lifted her chin, her aura glowing. A soft controlled blue, not wild like earlier. I am not dangerous, she said quietly. Not with him here. The second brother, a warrior with sharp eyes and a scar across his temple, snapped. He touched you. You know what that means? Yalin raised his hands nervously. Can someone please explain what it means? Because no one told me anything before today. The youngest brother, usually calm, stared at Yalin like he was trying to read an ancient text on his face. The mark, the youngest said slowly, is not just instinct. It is recognition. During the heat cycle, our kind searches for a bond source. A heartbeat that matches, a scent that aligns, a presence strong enough to calm the storm. His eyes narrowed in confusion, and for some reason, That presence is you. Yalan blinked. But I didn't do anything. The sister looked back. At him, her expression soft. You opened your door. That alone is powerful in our culture. Yalan sighed. I opened it by accident. The eldest brother shook his head. Intent does not matter. Symbolism does. Yalan rubbed his face. Great, so I accidentally accepted an ancient alien ritual. All three brothers spoke at the same time. Yes. The sister's glowing eyes softened. You did not know, she whispered. But instincts follow signals, not logic. The second brother stepped forward, his voice tense. This bond cannot be undone. And the heat will continue to react to him. We must take her away, before it deepens. The sister suddenly moved, blocking their path. Her aura flared, not dangerous, but protective. You will not take me. She said firmly, not while he is near, he steadies me. The eldest brother stared at her in disbelief. Sister, you have never controlled yourself during heat. Not once in your life. I know, she whispered. But with him, I can. The room went silent. Even the brothers didn't know what to say. The eldest studied Yalan carefully, scanning him, as if trying to understand what made this human different. Human, what is your emotional state right now? Terrified and confused. Yalan answered honestly. The eldest nodded slowly. And yet, she is calm. That realization hit all of them at once. The sister, who should be wild, unstable, and driven by instinct, was breathing steady. Her posture was relaxed. Her aura no longer surged with danger. She looked almost peaceful. Because of him, the youngest brother whispered, this has never happened before. The eldest's voice dropped to a serious, almost reverent tone. Calming bond with a human? This changes everything. The second brother still looked uncertain. But traditions evolve, the eldest replied quietly. We cannot break what is already forming. He turned to Yalan. Human, you must understand the weight of this. If the bond continues, she will recognize you as her. Chosen, her instincts will follow only you. Her strength will respond to you. Her emotions will center around you. Yalan felt his pulse spike. That sounds like a lot of responsibility. It is, the eldest agreed. And her safety and ours may depend on how you respond. The sister turned back to him slowly, not fierce. Not wild. Soft. Yalan, I do not want to lose control. I do not want to be locked away again. Please, let me stay near you. Just until the heat stabilizes. The brothers watched her with shock. She had never asked for anything during heat. She had never spoken so clearly. She had never stood behind someone's name. The eldest sighed deeply. We cannot take her. Not while she is stable. The second brother frowned. So what do we do, for now? The eldest looked at Yalan with a heavy, meaningful gaze. We trust the human. Yalan's stomach flipped. Me? Why me? But before he could protest, the eldest brother placed a protective seal on the door and stepped back. She stays with you, he said, until the cycle ends. The sister exhaled in relief and moved closer to Yalan, not touching, but standing. Only inches away. And for the first time, Yalan realized he wasn't just keeping her calm. She was choosing him, and her entire warrior family had just accepted it. The brothers left the doorway, each one stepping back slowly, as if turning their backs on a storm that had suddenly become calm. The door seal shimmered faintly, creating a gentle barrier meant to keep others out, not to trap Yalan or their sister, but to protect their privacy. Inside the room, the air felt warmer, but calmer. It no longer held wild energy. It held something else. Something quiet. Something bonding. Yalan stood awkwardly near his bed while the alien sister remained close, very close, but not touching him. He could feel the heat radiating from her, but it no longer felt dangerous. It felt controlled, almost gentle, like warm sunlight on skin. She took a slow breath, and her glowing aura pulsed in sync with it. "You must have questions," she whispered. "Oh, I have many questions," Yalin replied. "Starting with, what exactly is a heat cycle, and why does everyone think I'm part of it?" She nodded softly and moved to sit on the floor, crossing her legs with graceful motion. She motioned for him to sit too. Reluctantly, he sat across from her, close enough to feel her warmth, but far enough to breathe normally. When a Zarian female enters heat, she began in simple, calm words. "It is not like human emotion. It is not anger. It is not desire. It is instinct." She placed her hand over her heart. Our hearts burn hotter. Our thoughts split. Half of us remains logical. The other half becomes ancient. Her eyes glowed faintly, very ancient. Yalin leaned forward a little. "Ancient how?" "Our species once lived on ground worlds, wild planets, long before we built stations or learned peace. During that time, heat cycles helped us find partners that kept us safe." Yalin blinked. "Partners?" She looked down, as if embarrassed to say the next words aloud. "We are drawn to the presence that calms us the most. The presence that quiets the heat. It is nature choosing for us." Yalin swallowed. "So, nature chose me?" Her eyes lifted to his slowly. "Yes." Silence fell between them. Not uncomfortable, just heavy, as if the room itself understood the importance of what she said. Jlen rubbed his neck nervously. "But why me? I'm just a human. I don't have glowing skin or warrior blood or—" She interrupted softly. "Humans are not weak, Yalin." The seriousness in her voice caught him off guard. She continued, "Humans have strong emotional patterns, loud hearts, clear sense, and your presence." She hesitated. "Your presence reaches me." "Reaches? You how?" he asked. She closed her eyes, searching for the right words. "When you entered the hall earlier, my heat flared. My senses sharpened. All the sounds became painful. All the lights hurt my eyes. But when I smelled your scent, when I heard your heartbeat," she placed her hand lightly over her chest again. "My mind cleared." Yalin stared at her. "I didn't do anything." "You exist," she whispered. Those two words struck deeper than he expected. She looked away for a moment, cheeks glowing with a soft blush-like light. "Our instincts search for harmony, and they found it in you." Yalin took a slow breath, trying to process everything. "And the mark? Why did touching you create glowing symbols on your skin?" She touched the faint markings gently. "A recognition mark. It only appears when the bond signal becomes strong." "Bond signal?" "Yes, when two heartbeats align." Jalin's heart skipped a beat. "Wait, the bond reads heartbeats?" She nodded. "If they match rhythm, even for a moment, the bond forms a connection." My heart accelerated from the heat. Yours accelerated from fear. For one instant, they matched. Yalin stared at her glowing wrist in disbelief. "That's unfair." She laughed softly, a warm, gentle sound. "It is nature," she replied. "It has no fairness, only purpose." Yalin sighed. "And what is that purpose?" "To keep the female steady and safe until the heat cycle ends." Her voice softened further. "And right now, you steady me." Those words hit him harder than anything else, she continued. "If I were with my brothers, my heat would rise again. Their presence affects me with pressure and expectation. But your presence lowers it." Yalin rubbed his forehead. "Okay, so this bond thing goes away when the cycle ends, right?" She hesitated. "Maybe. What do you mean, maybe?" She lifted her eyebrows slightly. "Some bonds last only through the heat. Others become permanent. It depends on how deep the connection becomes." Yalin froze. "Permanent? As in, forever?" She nodded lightly. "Forever." His heart began beating faster. The sister's eyes widened as she felt the rhythm. She whispered, "You must stay calm. If your heartbeat changes too much, The bond may deepen. Oh, great, Yalin muttered. So now my heartbeat is in charge of destiny, she smiled softly. It always has been. He stared at her, this glowing, powerful, ancient-blooded alien woman whose instincts had chosen him. The one species no one expected. And for the first time, Yalin understood why her brothers bowed their heads in shock. Because this wasn't just instinct. This wasn't just a cycle. This was something rare. Something sacred. Something that had not happened in generations. Outside the room, the heat sensors glowed softly. Inside, their heartbeats echoed in quiet harmony, and the bond grew deeper. The room felt different now, quiet, warm, almost sacred. Yalin sat across from the alien sister, trying to understand everything she had told him. She watched him carefully, her glowing eyes soft and steady, as if every small detail of his breath mattered. Outside the sealed door, her brothers stood guard. Not to protect themselves from her, but to protect the bond that had formed inside. The alien sister lifted her hand slowly, letting the faint glowing symbol shimmer on her skin. Yalin, she whispered, I need you to hear something important. He leaned slightly forward. I'm listening. She took a steadying breath. For the first time since he saw her in the hallway, she looked vulnerable. If you leave the room right now, she said softly, the bond will break. My heat will rise fast again. I will lose control. I will become dangerous even to myself. Yalin's chest tightened. And if I stay, her voice trembled, then I remain calm. The bond stabilizes. I stay, me. He let the words sink in. So it's my choice, he said quietly. She nodded. Yes. Yalin looked at his hands. Why would instinct choose me? I'm not strong like your brothers. I'm not a protector. I'm just an engineer. She shook her head gently. You think strength is muscle. Our instincts sense something else. What? She placed her hand over her heart. Stability. Yalin blinked. Stability? When I feel my instincts rising, when the heat pulls at me, your presence pushes it down. You bring balance. Peace. Her voice softened even more. You do not fear me. And fear shapes instinct more than strength. Yalin didn't know what to say, but then she said something that made his pulse stop completely. You were not chosen because you are strong. You were chosen because you are steady. Silence settled over them like a warm blanket. After a few seconds, Yalin whispered, And if the bond becomes permanent? She lowered her eyes. Then I will be tied to you for life. Yalin's throat tightened. Do you want that? She looked at him slowly, deeply, painfully honest. I do not want to be alone during every cycle. I do not want to lose myself to instinct. And I do not want to be locked away every time. Her glowing eyes softened. When you touched me, for the first time in my life, the heat did not feel like a curse. Yalin felt something heavy and warm inside his chest, something protective, but she wasn't finished. In our culture, she whispered, a permanent bond is not ownership. It is trust. Two existences supporting each other, matching each other, becoming stronger together. Doesn't that scare you? He asked. She smiled faintly. It does. But losing myself scares me more. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Yalin breathed out slowly. I'm not going anywhere. Her lips parted slightly. You choose to stay? I choose, he said firmly, to help you stay in control. I choose not to leave you alone with something that scares you. And, he gave a small smile, I guess I choose not to break any more ancient alien rituals by accident. A soft laugh escaped her, warm, relieved, real. The glow around her body shifted, becoming soft gold instead of hot blue. Her aura stabilized completely, like mist settling after a storm. You staying makes the heat fall, she whispered. Your voice, your rhythm, your calm. She stopped, embarrassed. Yalan tilted his head. My calm what? She met his eyes again, shy but honest. Your calm heart makes mine match. The moment the words left her mouth, the glowing symbols on her wrist brightened, then slowly flowed from her skin to his. A faint shimmer appeared on his wrist too, like the bond marking had accepted him equally. The sister gasped softly. It is mutual now. Mutual? Yalan repeated. Yes. She placed her fingertips gently over the glowing symbols. It means the bond recognizes you as well. And what does that mean? Yalan asked cautiously. It means, she whispered, you are now part of my cycle, and part of my future. His breath hitched. Your future? Yes. She smiled. Softly, not fierce or wild, but calm. For as long as you choose to stay. At that moment, the sealed door opened. Her brothers stepped in, expecting chaos. Instead, they froze at the sight, their sister calm and steady. Her aura gentle. Her markings glowing softly on both wrists, hers and Yalan's. The eldest brother bowed his head. The cycle has stabilized. The second brother stared at Yalan. He has accepted the bond. Yalan nodded once. I did. The youngest brother whispered. Then it is done. Nature has decided. The eldest looked at Yalan with deep respect, real, heavy respect. Human, he said. You have done what even our strongest warriors could not. You brought peace to a storm that has ruled her entire life. We owe you a debt. Yalan shook his head. You don't owe me anything. You are wrong, the eldest replied. Our sister is free because of you. The alien sister looked at Yalan, warmth glowing from her eyes and skin. I am free. Because of you. Outside the station window, distant stars shimmered like tiny heartbeats inside the room. Two different worlds, human and alien, finally found the same rhythm, and the legend of the human who calmed the heat cycle began that day. A story that would pass through generations. Story no one would ever forget.